Okay, now I'm going to be pretending that I'm Margaret Keller. Can I come up? I'm going to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Now we're going to say Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, Richard, you're going to have to face forward and say that. Don't turn away. I'm going to say Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm Mrs. Hugh.
Is that hearable?
A little bit more, I was thinking. I'm Mrs. Hugh. Fine.
Behind here. Okay, that's about the right angle.
Like this?
Okay, say something loud.
I haven't written my speech yet.
Oh.
I'm glad that I wrote my speech.
All right, here we go. Okay, Maria, stop. Would you mention who's next on the program? Ken.
Hello, how are you? Have a nice day.
Next is
I get to move it this way.
try to move it down. Okay, we'll try to get it.
Gary, what do you need? I'll go and get it.
I forgot the package. Richard Lawrence Whipple. Rosa Guadalupe Ramos.
Some in there. I don't know how many. What happened to John Allen?
I don't know.
You know,
Thank you very much. Thank you. No, there's a place. You should mind.
Where's your road? Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is... Okay, let's get to the home ec. I got home.
Anybody got a hat that's too small?
Elmar's got a tie. Get this.
That's all he's putting on, too.
Would you pray with me? Heavenly Father, we come this evening with pride in our hearts. We thank you for these that have completed this portion of their education and have come to this milestone in their lives. And Father, we pray that as they go forth from here, they might find purpose in their life. And Father, that they might find happiness and joy in that purpose. We ask, Lord, that your will might be manifested in each one of our lives. And we ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, who gave his life, that we might have life, and that more abundant. In his name we pray. Amen.
As student body president of Winters High School, it gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to the 89th annual commencement exercises in Dr. Sellers Field. Would you please join with me now in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And remember the last 13 years. Remember the small boy or girl who got on the wrong bus as a kindergarten? Remember the small boy or girl as they read their first book or completed their first math problem? Learn how to write like their mom or dad? Remember those ceramics that you cherish so much? How you worked to earn those? Ah, the recesses. You thought they were only for you. Junior high school. Girls had crushes on guys. The guys still weren't sure. Classes were no longer stationary. You became mobile. History, science, math, PE. Dancing became a participatory activity. In high school, you became somebody's freshman slave. You always wanted to be a football star, cheerleader, or video operator. Computers, yearbook, family planning, algebra, chemistry, English, Spanish, American government. Just a few of the courses that lay ahead. Roadblocks were driver's ed. You just had to drive. Proficiency tests and college entrance exams. Principal, teachers, coaches, counselors, secretary, custodians, they were considered stumbling blocks at times. When you became juniors, the world opened up. You had wheels, boyfriends or girlfriends, good grades, no stumbling blocks. You were on top of the world. Things began to change around March 1985. You tasted victory. The goal was within sight. You could reach out and touch it. Time dragged until June 3rd. You realized you only had 1 week left. Skip day, super class, poppies, and the last moment with your friends of 13 years. Congratulations. You now have a new challenge, a different one for each of you. Thank you.
When the doors of Winters High School opened to the class of 1985, they opened up to freshmen who were young, scared, and filled with great expectations. Those doors are about to close, but the memories of Winters High will always remain. As freshmen, we were under the guidance of advisors Bill Grubaugh, Diane Grimard, and Kitty Kramer. The class officers were President Lorna Conkle, Vice President Lori Biazzi, Secretary Christy Lockinen, Treasurer Stacy Baker, and Sergeant of Arms John Allen. Even as freshmen, we showed our originality. We were probably the only class that ever put a giant toilet on a float. For homecoming, we were represented by Stephanie Peterson, escorted by David Egbert, and for Youth Day, our attendant was Robin Swaggart, escorted by John Allen. Our sophomore year, our president was Karen Benson, Vice President John Allen, Secretary Elsa Aguirre, Treasurer Eva Leal, and Sergeant of Arms Frank Pearl and David Egbert, and the class reporter was April Carner. Our sophomore homecoming attendant was Karen Benson, escorted by John Thomas, and for Youth Day, we nominated Tammy Landis, escorted by John Allen. As juniors, we were finally upperclassmen. The class was led by President Richard Whipple, Vice President Karen Benson, Secretary Ellen Hale, Treasurer Candace Lunsford, and Sergeant of Arms Danny Allenbaugh. Our homecoming attendant was Ellen Hale, escorted by Richard Whipple, and Candace Lunsford, escorted by Danny Allenbaugh, was our Youth Day's representative. When the big day arrived, and we were seniors, I had the honor of being president. Lorna Conkle was vice president, Secretary Stephanie Peterson, Treasurer Juanita Ramus, and Sergeant of Arms Danny Allenbaugh and John Thomas. As seniors, we finally won something, the homecoming spirit stick. Our homecoming attendant was Stephanie Peterson, escorted by John Thomas. Our Youth Day's sweetheart was Eva Leal, who was escorted by the Youth Day's mayor, Brian Duncan. The senior attendant was myself, escorted by Richard Harris. The senior class finished off the year by winning the superclass competition. Fellow seniors, we've made it. Now on behalf of the senior class, I would like to call up to the stage Diane Grimard, Kitty Hudson, Bill Grubaugh, Laura Smith, Marilyn Myers, Dale Bruin, Pat Rizzer, and Mr. Frank Pignataro.
By giving a special thanks to our three advisors, Mrs. Hudson, Mrs. Grimard, and Mr. Grubaugh. They were with us for 3 years and helped us mostly when we had concessions and helped us a lot and stood by us all the time. I'd like to give a special thanks to Mr. Frank Pignataro, as principal. He's leaving this year, but we enjoyed him for the last 4 years, and he helped us a lot in many of our trials. I'd like to thank the three office people that did the most work for us. Laura Smith, who was always there to tell us how much money we had in our accounts, and tell us how much we could and couldn't spend. Mrs. Rizzer for helping us apply for scholarships when we didn't really know what we were doing. Marilyn Meyer for always helping us in whatever we needed help in. And also Dale Brewer for always cleaning up after we left big messes after everything. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is appropriate as a graduate to commend our parents. So often did they help us through difficult times, and we did not truly appreciate their care and love. Tonight, as I stand here as a graduate, I thank my parents in Spanish. Quisiera darle las gracias a mis padres por todo lo que tengo. También quisiera darles las gracias por toda la comprensión, la ayuda y especialmente el amor que me han mostrado durante toda mi vida. Our teachers
deserve the same thanks because all of them have helped us along the path of becoming students. They had an obligation to teach, and they came through. I remind you not to forget to thank your friends, for they too have contributed with their support. With a smiling face, I look back to the past at all the joyous years I have experienced with this class. There were some serious times, some fun times, and some sad times. And now, graduates, we must look to the future. Our Earth has a lot to offer. Whether we take advantage of the opportunities or not will be each individual's decision. Our world is a world filled with uncertainty. It can hold great satisfaction or extreme disappointment. This planet is offering a challenge. This challenge is to see if we can confront and overcome hunger, pollution, war, starvation, and especially hate. Will we try to make this world a better one, or will we only try to gratify ourselves? We live in a society which produces complex technology at a very fast pace, too fast. Many of us find it difficult to keep up. Parents can't use computers. Word processing is strange to our parents. But I can't get a job if I do not have these skills. We can no longer, as young people, do what our parents did and expect to survive. Even farming is moving into high technology equipment in order to survive. Graduates, beware. Graduates, be prepared. Fellow students, it gives me great honor to be one of the class of 1985 salutatorians. I would most like to thank my parents, Phil and Joyce Hale, and my sisters Susan and Linda, and my brother Paul, for always being there to support and give me guidance when I needed it. I would also like to thank all of my teachers through the years who put up with my continual talking and giggling. I didn't realize until recently how closely knit the people of Winters are. Everybody in Winters is family, and when there's a crisis, they are always there to help one through it. There are many more people I need to thank, but rather than name individuals and forget someone, I'd like to just say thank you, Winters. So many things I've learned. It's just impossible to shrink into several minutes. So tonight I thought I would give you just a few impressions of my year here. First, I am lucky to have an American family like the Chapmans. I want to thank Nikki for her caring and support. I want to thank Shelley for being a sister I never had. I would like to thank my FS father Rocky for his warmth and sense of humor. One thing I learned here right away was that different countries have different sense of humor. It took me a long time until I was able to laugh about the American jokes. I remember my trip to San Diego with a friend of mine. Her name is Jennifer Friedley. And our dune buggy broke down at the night. New Year's Eve, and we watched the new year come in, shivering in the sand and talking about soap operas. I just couldn't believe we were actually doing this. Well, this new year, I will never forget. It was different but nice. I also remember the first day I arrived in San Francisco. I was amazed seeing so many joggers. There were more people running than walking, and that seemed kind of weird to me because in Europe, you don't see a lot of joggers. And now, since I know how concerned the Americans are about their physical fitness, it seems to me like the Europeans are wimps, really. My American family here took me to a lot of places like Tahoe, Monterey, San Luis Obispo, or Carmel. And in 2 weeks we're going to Los Angeles. I'm getting really excited about this because LA is the place who everybody dreams about in Europe. And everybody thinks California is just like, oh, it's like one beach and only full of movie stars. Well, I must admit that I believed it too. Now I know it's not quite true, but I still love California more than no other place. What I like especially here are the many TV stations, the big cars, and all the palm trees. Another thing I found very different here are the American high school parties. First you go and look for a safe orchard, and then after you've done that, you have to run and hide when the cops come. That was a real fun experience to me, especially the first time I got caught, which was right in the first week I was here. I must say, I had a real great time at Winners High. I would like to thank the faculty and especially all of you students. Each of you was a big help to me in making my stay so unforgettable. At this point, I wish to thank a wonderful lady, Bobby Greenwood, who was responsible for arranging my AFS year here, and of course the AFS Adult chapter. Also, I want to thank you, all the people in Winners, for the friendship you have shown to me. I have wonderful memories to take with me back home. Well, my best friend from Germany called me last week. Her name is Elke, and she told me that she lost 15 pounds. Well, I gained 15 pounds since I'm here. So together, we still weigh the same. I guess the American food just didn't give me any chances. Now I have only 4 weeks left until I leave, and I have to say goodbye to everybody, which I know is going to be one of the hardest moments in my life. But I'll come back in 2 years with my parents to visit, so I'm already excited to see all of you again. Thank you for everything. I had a fantastic year. Bye. Students of Winners High School, teachers, and the members of the community. Ever since I was born, I have always known about AFS, since my father was one of the first AFS students from Finland. He went to Iowa in 1958, and I remember that when I was little, I used to always look through his scrapbook, trying to imagine how it would be in the USA. When I finally turned old enough to try out as an exchange student, and of course when I was accepted, there was nothing stopping my happiness. But the biggest thing was still to come. In what state and which city was I going to go? It seemed like a million years before I finally, about 1 year ago in April, I got to know my new state and hometown, even though it took only a few months. When I looked at my papers, they said I was going to California. Every Finn's dream place in the USA. But when I looked at the name of my hometown, Winters, it didn't seem and sound so nice and warm as I had pictured California. And what was even worse, I couldn't find it from the map. But I knew it was situated somewhere between Sacramento and San Francisco, but that was about it. And finally, I had a joyous moment when my friend's dad had his big map of the USA, and we could find this tiny little point which represented Winters. And hooray, I found it, at least from one map. When I started to receive letters from my family, the Schroeders, I got some more and better pictures of Winters, and I had some more idea what to expect. But I never thought I was coming to an oven, which is how it felt when I arrived in Winters in August. This has been a wonderful and rewarding year for me. I made so many friends amongst the students and the teachers in Winters High School. I feel very lucky to have been here this year, especially because I had Mr. Pignataro as my principal, because I know that he's leaving this year. And I have made another friend, and she's very special, and that's Karen Hess, the other AFS student from Germany. And Karen and I will be going to home in July, and not only will we remember our many friends in the USA, but we will be able to continue our friendship in Europe. This has been a warm and friendly community for me to have lived in this year. You made me really feel like home. And I had two wonderful host families this year, and at this point I would be very proud to introduce them to you. The Schroeder family. Come on, Terry. My dad, Terry. My mom, Linda. My host sister, Carrie. And Sean. And the Greenwoods, Bobby, my mom. And John, my dad. And Winters has also a wonderful adult AFS chapter, and I'd like to thank them for all they've done for me this year. And I wish I could say goodbye individually to all my friends in the community and Winters High School, but since that's impossible, may I take this opportunity to say goodbye to the community of Winters, to all of my teachers, for the students of Winters High, and a special goodbye to my senior classmates. And in Finnish we say, kiitos ja hyvästi.
Children in grammar school, playing games and having fun, learning new things. We didn't have a care in the world because we knew that our parents were there to provide us with whatever we needed. We went about our daily routines without thinking of the future or graduation from high school because it was too far in the future for us to grasp. I can recall when I started school with Richard Whipple, Lori Biazzi, John Thomas, Rosa Ramus, and all my other friends. And I can remember how shy and timid we all used to be. But going through 13 years of school and growing up with my classmates has been a very rewarding experience for me. Personalities have changed, but other things have not. John is still bigger than anyone else in our class. And Rich is still as skinny as he was 13 years ago. As a class, we progressed from our first book and literary friends of Dick and Jane and Puff and Spy to building papier-mâché models of the Sierras with a big gorge, which we labeled the Sacramento Valley, and proudly placed Winters in the center. I remember that our state capital, Sacramento, looked like a suburb of Winters. Before we knew it, we were in junior high, and we were struggling with the Constitution and American history. Then came the big day in August of 1982. We were high school freshmen. We were delighted to be here, to be a part of high school social life, the rallies, the football games, and the dances. We were also a bit intimidated because we wanted to fit in. We did manage to do so, however, and 4 years flew by very quickly. Suddenly, here it is, our graduation night. We now begin a new phase in our lives. Some to college, some to career training, and some to the workforce. Regardless of how we direct our course, we will have yesterday's memories to cherish. In closing, I would like to paraphrase English poet Robert Browning. Come, my friends, grow old with me, the best is yet to be.
teachers, and everyone who has helped to give me support. I especially thank my parents who have cared for me and have reared me with the right values. It is difficult at this time to describe all of my feelings. However, I would like to read a poem that will help express my sentiments and those of my classmates as well. It is entitled School Day Memories. As we reach out our hand, the diploma we grasp, while we think of the memories of the years in the past. Tears fill our eyes because it is all gone. We're starting a new life. We have to move on. We hope friends will keep in touch as the years passes by. Although it hurts inside, we will try hard not to cry. We will think of kindergarten and our first day. Now we've reached the end. We will go our own way. How do you say goodbye to friends who mean so much? Will there be time to sincerely keep in touch? I say to them today, don't think of school as ending. Think a new life has begun. The author of this poem is unknown, and I feel that he or she has done an excellent job in describing how we all feel. And I say to them today, which is my favorite quote, for them to keep in mind for the future. The secret to a rainbow is not the treasure at the end, but it's the joys along the way. Now I would like to say a few words in Spanish. Buenas noches a todos ustedes. Es un honor para mí estar aquí en esta noche. Y quisiera aprovechar este momento para agradecerles a todos los que me han ayudado. A Dios primeramente, a los maestros que tanta paciencia tienen y especialmente a las dos personas que yo quiero más, que son mis padres, que me han criado con cariño y amor y me han enseñado las cosas que valen tanto en esta vida. Por favor, mamá y papá, ¿se pueden parar un momento? Gracias por todo. Quisiera en este momento expresar también lo que todos nosotros estamos sintiendo hoy. Al recibir nuestro diploma recordamos las memorias de los años que han pasado. Lágrimas llenan nuestros ojos porque todo ha terminado y empezamos otra etapa de nuestras vidas. Deseamos que nuestros amigos nos sigan hablando al pasar de los años y aunque duele por dentro trataremos de no llorar. Les digo a mis compañeros hoy para el futuro, el secreto de un arco iris no es el tesoro que hay al final, sino lo que hay en el camino. Muchas gracias y buenas noches.
Along a plain, and underneath the cloud or in it, raged a furious battle, and men yelled, and swords shocked upon swords and shields. The prince's banner wavered and staggered backward, hemmed by foes. A craven hung along the battle's edge, and thought, had I a sword of keener steel, that blue blade that the king's son bears. But this blunt thing he snapped and flung it from his hands, and lowering, crept away and left the field. Then came the king's son, wounded, sore bestead, weaponless, and saw the broken sword, hilt buried in the dry and trodden sand, and ran and snatched it, and with the battle shout, lifted afresh, he hewed down his enemy, and saved the great cause that heroic day. From this day forward, we, the members of the class of '85, will be continually fighting a battle for the rest of our lives. This battle is life, or the trials that are in life. We have all been equipped with our own sword. Whether we feel it is blunt or between blue steel matters not. We are the factor of success. The faculty at Winters High School have dedicated the last 4 years to equipping us with these swords and preparing us for battle. We all have the potential to succeed. There is a gold mine within each one of us from which we can extract all the necessary ingredients. There are times when we will feel that our swords have grown dull and blunt and we have no chance. But it is this times that we must run and snatch it, and with a battle shout, lift it afresh, hew down our enemy, and save that great cause. Discouragement will be our worst enemy, class. Keeping positive mental attitudes, even in the darkest of the battles, will give us success. Success is an attitude. If our attitude is continually positive, we will succeed. Some may think that graduation is a climax of their lives, and it is for the moment, but only for a moment. We need to start from the top, where we are, and continue to rise. This is our commencement, our new beginning. Our choices are our own. We have no net on which to fall. This is it. I would like to give a few thanks now to some very special people in Winters High School and in Winters. The first one is Frank Pignataro, often known as Tattoo. He's been our friend, our leader, our teacher, and our administrator. We give you thanks, Mr. Pignataro. The next is the faculty. The faculty has not only taught us how to do math problems, how to translate from English to Spanish, how to play volleyball, and how to use grammar correctly, but they have also taught us how to live, love, and be courteous and friendly to others. The next is the parents and the families. I'd like to thank my parents and my family for all the help they've given me. But I would also like to thank the parents and family that we have here in this community, the family with the name of Winters, for all the help. Family, you have made these people what they are. All the things that you have done have contributed to these people's success. I would next like to thank the class, the people behind me, for all their help, their cooperation, and all the things they've done for me and for each other. Dream High Class of 1985. You can and will succeed. Someday, we will all be those princes and princesses. Thank you.
On behalf of the class and our faculty, parents, relatives, friends, community members, school board members, and our superintendent, Mrs. Moore, for coming this evening. The Winters High School graduations have got to be the greatest show around. And I know that people that come here have a good time. They come and witness some things from young people that aren't often advertised. And I'll tell you what, we've got an awful lot to be proud of, and I'm very proud of being part of this myself. I'd like to, at this time, have a special welcome for a lady that is celebrating an anniversary of graduation for herself. It happens to be her 78th anniversary from Winters High School. She's my favorite lady at graduation, and she's been kind enough to come here every graduation that I've been here. She graduated in the class of 1907. She's 97 years young, will be 98 in December. And let's welcome Mary Basie Walters, please. This year, and Gary Petek, who took over for the first time the coordination of our graduation ceremonies for this evening, and it just has done a fine, fantastic job, and I'd like to commend our advisors and Mr. Petek. We're going to try a different format tonight.
If it works, it was my idea. If it's not, if it doesn't work, it was Pat Rizzer's idea. We're going to see if we can streamline our awards and still bring recognition to our students up here. Pat has worked so hard and so closely with our scholarships and grants and achievement awards with our students that this is fittingly her part of the agenda, and I'm going to casually stand alongside and pass things on to our fortunate students. And I'm going to turn the program over at this time to Pat Rizzer, our counselor.
The first portion of this announcement, I will ask the students, as their names are read, to raise their hand. I mean, to stand up, not raise your hands. To stand up, and when we finish each segment, please acknowledge these graduates with applause. But if we keep doing this, it's going to go on all night because we've amassed several pages of scholarships. The first group of scholarship winners this evening are the California State grants called Cal Grant A. And as I call your name, if you'll just stand up, and then we'll move right along. Cal Grant A winners John Allen, Stacy Baker, Leticia Garcia, Patricia Garcia, Rosa Ramos, Nanette Reed, Sergio Rodarte, Elizabeth Schwartz, and David Venegas. If you would be seated, we'll go on to the next section. The California College Opportunity Grants, better known as Cal Grant B, winners this year are Leticia Garcia, Rosa Ramos, and David Venegas. California Occupational and Educational Training Grant, better known as Cal Grant C, this year goes to Stacy Baker. In some instances, more than one award has been awarded per student, but they are the ones who make up their mind over which one they're going to accept. We also have other youngsters who will be waiting to see if that grant turned back will eventually come to Winters High School. The largest of the federal grant programs, better known as the Pell Grant. We have been most fortunate this evening in announcing, I think, 8 or 9 of these graduates. This grant is worth up to $1,900. It is renewable each year. The Pell Grant winners for this year are Leticia Garcia for Sacramento State University, John Allen for the University of California at Davis, Lorna Conkle for the University of California at Davis, David Venegas for Santa Rosa Junior College, Rosa Ramos for the State University at Sacramento, Teresa Garcia for Santa Rosa Junior College, and Elizabeth Schwartz for the University of California at Davis. Earlier this year, and Thursday at our award assembly, the Bank of America made public their awards for Winters High School, and I would like at this time to acknowledge those students, and if they will all stand, and when we get through the list of names, then we will all applaud. First on our list is Donald Cabral, the plaque winner for Outstanding Excellence in the field of liberal arts. Richard Whipple, plaque winner for Outstanding Excellence in the field of science and mathematics. Larry Campos, certificate winner in art. Juanita Ramos, certificate winner in drama. Nanette Reed, certificate winner in music. Stephanie Pedersen, certificate winner in English. Christy Lakanen and Patricia Garcia, certificate winners in the field of foreign language. John Allen, certificate winner in social studies. Elizabeth Cushman and Patricia Tejeda, certificate winners in laboratory science. Ellen Hale, certificate winner in mathematics. Karen Benson, certificate winner in agriculture. Rosa Ramos, certificate winner in business. And Wilma Callison, certificate winner in the field of home economics. The California's Scholarship Federation Life members. This is normally Jermaine Hughes, but I'm going to do it, Jermaine. I hope I can stumble through it. Those who have been 6 out of 8 semesters for life, or 8 out of 8 for 11%, whatever that means, are the following students: John Allen, Donald Cabral, Mike Ernie, Patricia Garcia, Lorna Conkle, Rosa Ramos, Sharon Sellers, Stacy Baker, Elizabeth Cushman, Leticia Garcia, Ellen Hale, Christy Lakanen, Elizabeth Schwartz, and Richard Whipple. Thursday, our last official day of school for this school year, we had an awards assembly. And we honored several of our graduates. And at this time, I would like to have that individual student stand up. And I hope that we have all your honors and awards and amounts for scholarships in correct order. The first young person on the list I would like to acknowledge is Ellen Hale, who is a scholarship winner for the Woodland Hospital Foundation for $500, the Sutter Davis Hospital Auxiliary for $500, CIF Scholar Athlete Award for a grade point average of a 3.6 or better, and a varsity athlete. Patricia Garcia from the University of California, Davis, a Cal Aggie Scholarship for $300. From Pacific Gas and Electric Company, 10 shares of common stock. Today's stock quote was around $150, and Success Consortium for $35. Rosa Ramos, Smart Federal Savings and Loan Scholarship for $100, Success Consortium for $35. To Richard Whipple, the DAR Good Citizenship Award, CIF Scholar Athlete Award for grade point average 3.6 or higher, and a varsity athlete, even though he is skinny. And the Good Citizenship Award awarded earlier from Serapis International of winners for $100. And Richard also was a third place winner for Bank of America, and as a plaque winner, he won and placed third place in the division this year. To Donald Cabral, the DAR Good Citizenship Award. Maria Laris, the Amigos Anita Scholarship for $100, the Success Consortium Scholarship for $35. Elizabeth Schwartz, the Willow Oak 4-H Adrian Johnson Memorial Award for $250. Elizabeth Cushman, Sutter Davis Hospital Auxiliary Scholarship, $250. In memory of Mr. J.R. Chapman, offered by the Winters Police and Fire Association to Sergio Rodarte for $500. Elsa Gary, the Army Reserve Scholar Athlete Medallion, awarded on Thursday. To John Allen, Gemco Corporation Award for $25 of a gift certificate. Woodland Elks Lodge for $1,000. The Army Reserve Scholar Athlete Medallion, which he was awarded on Thursday. And we have some more scholarships and awards that are complete mysteries to only but a few. I will announce when Mr. Pigmataro will do the shaking and the kissing.
First job. Somebody's got to do it.
From the state of Arkansas, we have roaring down the interstate from the Willis Shaw Express Trucking Company for $1,000, and the Basic Food Scholarship of Vacaville to John Allen, also in the sum of $1,000. An exceptional student scholarship in the amount of $250 to Francisco Arellano. An exceptional student scholarship in the amount of $500 to Rosalind Atherton. Junior College has offered to Stacy Baker the Doyle Scholarship in the amount of $850. We have a new scholarship award this year from Camille's Cosmetology Cosmetology Scholarship for $50 to Lori Biazzi. St. Paul's Methodist Church of Vacaville and Friends Scholarship in the amount of $100 to Richard Bishop. Seroptimus International of Winters, the valedictorian award for $200 to Donald Cabral. St. Paul's United Methodist Church of Vacaville and Friends Scholarship, the amount of $100 to Larry Campos. Woodland Chamber of Commerce Scholarship for the amount of $500 in the field of agriculture, and the International Order of Job Stoddard Scholarship for $345 to Elizabeth Cushman. St. Paul's United Methodist Church of Vacaville and Friends in the amount of $100 scholarship to Tony Freed. Seroptimus International of Winters, the valedictorian award for $200. Winters Fortnightly Scholarship for $1,000, and the Winters Rotary International General Scholarship for $1,000 to Patricia Garcia. Alternate to the Winters Beta Alpha Beta Scholarship, Winters the American Legion Scholarship for $1,000, Seroptimus International of Winters Salutatorian Award for $100, and this year's winner is Ellen Hale. An Exceptional Student Scholarship Award in the amount of $250 to Enrique Guzman. Seroptimus International of Winters Salutatorian Award for $100, the Winters Rotary International General Scholarship for $1,000 to Rosa Ramos. Winters Rotary Trade and Technical Scholarship for the amount of $1,000 to Raul Reyna. Cosmetology Scholarship for the amount of $50 to Martha Rosales. And the amount of $1,000 to California Baptist Scholarship. This year's winner is Sharon Sellers. Cosmetology Scholarship for the amount of $50 to Sherry Sorensen. Males Cosmetology Scholarship for the amount of $50 to Patricia Tejeda. Seroptimus International of Winters Valedictorian Scholarship in the amount of $200. Winners Beta Alpha Beta Scholarship in the amount of $500. Presidential Scholarship to Brigham Young University, the amount is unknown. And a first-time winner in Winters High School. I think it's only the second year the scholarship has been awarded across the United States. the National Hispanic Scholarship in the amount of $1,500 to Richard Whipple.
Let me steal the microphone for a minute. Could we have our valedictorians and salutatorians come down all at one time? We have a very unique situation this year where normally we have 2 people representing each of these categories, but we have 5 exceptional students this year that are sharing the honor. And we have some awards from the Superintendent of the State of California, Bill Honig, and that we'd like to present to them all at one time. Yes, yes. Congratulations to all, and I think they deserve a big hand. We're breaking away from the agenda because we're not really sure what our next step is here. We have one more award to give, and we thought there may be someone from the Winters Fortnightly that might be here to present this award this evening. If there is, this would be a proper time to come forward. If not, Mrs. Rizzer and I are prepared to do this on behalf of Fortnightly. Okay. We have one more scholarship award that is being offered in behalf of the Winters Fortnightly, and it's being awarded to a student here, very deserving, in the amount of $1,000, and it's the Joyce Hale Memorial Scholarship, and it goes to Ellen Hale.
Scholarship Committee tonight in awarding the Doug Baldridge Scholarship. This is a $300 scholarship. It can be divided among more than one person, as it is tonight. I don't know who coined the phrase All-American Boy, All-American Girl. We have the All-American Boy and the All-American Girl tonight as elected by the Scholarship Committee, which is composed of mainly the peers of these students. Tonight's winners are Richard Whipple and Elsa Aguirre.
Winners AFS is proud to present the Watkins Memorial Scholarship Award to a Winners AFS student who will be living abroad representing Winners, California. This award and a scholarship from the Winners Chapter AFS for a total of $250 is awarded this year to Elsa Aguirre, who will soon be departing Winners for her AFS experience.
a vision. President Teddy Roosevelt urged, do what you can, what you have, right where you are, but do it. This class of 85 has been a class of doers. These fine graduates will carry many memories with them of their years at Winters High School. The friends they have made, the fine teachers and staff who have given them a good education, the parents who have loved them and are so proud of them tonight, and all the extracurricular events that add an extra special meaning and fun to high school. To each of the graduates, be sure that your life has meaning and direction. You are at an important transition point to prepare you for adulthood. I hope you are pleased with your personal growth and have developed a good self-concept of yourself. The proper meaning of success is to find one's rightful place in life and to be happy in it. When we can do this, then we consider that our life is a real success. Success isn't how far you got, but the distance you traveled from where you started. I wish you all the success in the years ahead. Graduates, go the distance. To all the parents, guardians, relatives, the district, and the personnel of Winters High School, thank you for sharing your child with us for the adventure of learning. It is my pleasure and honor as the superintendent of this district to present the class of 1985.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to explain something. The words that Superintendent Moore used to congratulate the class and to depart on, unfortunately, were the same words that I was supposed to say to get the last row to stand up. So they were only following instructions, sort of. I don't have to say this is the class of 1985. I will just announce their names. Richard Lawrence Whipple. Rosa Guadalupe Ramos. Richard Dane Thomas. Karine Desiree Hess. Danny Allenbaugh. Cherie Marie Griffin. John Lewis Thomas. Karen Lynn Benson. Stephanie Peterson. Terrence Kevin O'Brien. Nanette Renee Reed. Donald Eugene Cabral. Maria Micaela Sere. Dwayne K. Barb. Sharon Sherwood Sellers. Brian Scott Duncan. Lori Ann Biazzi. Jeff Ramus. Michael Ernie. Christina Lynn Lockinen. Darren John Bishop. Lorna Eileen Conkle. Richard Brian Bishop. Rosalind Jane Atherton. Erica Gear. Dwayne Phillips. Teresa Roa Vaca. John Herbert Allen. Ellen Margaret Hale. Héctor Alfonso Guerrero. María Luisa Lares. Sergio Macías Rodarte. Teresa González Cortés. Eric Marion. Mark William Freed. Elizabeth Irene Schwartz. Anthony P. Freed. Wilma Dean Callison. Salvador Valadez Leon. April Renee Carner. David Matthew Egbert. Elsa Valentina Aguirre. Stacy Michelle Baker. Ismael Hernandez Valadez. Candace Ann Lunsford. Enrique Guzmán Zamudio. Patricia Garcia Soria. Matthew Brian Nichols. Leticia Garcia Guzman. Richard McKinley Harris. Now that looked pretty good. Teresa Garcia. David Venegas. Marta Genoveva Rosales. Wayne Eldon Stewart Jr. Stella Ruth Sang. Efraín Quesada. Sherry Lynn Sorensen. Héctor Raúl Urrena. Patricia Tejeda Rosales. Raymond Paul Russell. Juanita Marie Ramos. Elizabeth Ann Cushman. Francisco Arellano Mariscal. Eva Luz Leal. Larry John Campus. Rocío Reyes Camarena. Well, class of '85, you have graduated.